Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Danny Smith says Christian Kuntz is fine after getting hurt Sunday. Me and him may be the two toughest guys in this program. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a scare last Sunday when long snapper Christian Kuntz was rolled up on and appeared to suffer a leg/knee injury. Kuntz got it taped up but was walking with a limp on the sideline, although he didn't miss a snap in the Steelers' win over the Green Bay Packers. Speaking to reporters today, special teams coach Danny Smith, who tore his rotator cuff in 3 places at the end of the Packers game, said that Kuntz is fine. Me and him may be the two toughest people in this program, Smith said via transcript provided by the team. With Kuntz hurting and backup long snapper Cole Holcomb out for the season, there was concern about what the Steelers would do if Kuntz wasn't able to return to the game. Smith said the Steelers have a contingency plan in place but that the idea of that happening makes him very nervous. An injury to a long snapper during a game is a tough thing to plan for, and it's such a specialized position that the talent drop-off between the first guy and the second guy is going to be dramatic. Teams do not carry 2 long snappers on their 53-man roster, so the backup is almost always someone who plays another position and can snap in a pinch when needed. It's not an ideal situation, but Kuntz didn't appear on the injury report this week and the Steelers have yet to bring in any long snappers for workouts this week. It doesn't appear they will, so Kuntz will be the guy against Cleveland on Sunday. For Kuntz, being compared to Smith when it comes to the level of toughness is one of the ultimate compliments. Smith is 70 years old, tore his rotator cuff in 3 places on Sunday and comes out joking about the whole situation to reporters on Thursday. He's got a whole host of other injuries he suffered from getting railroaded on the sideline, including a tibia plateau fracture that he suffered in 1993 while coaching at Georgia Tech. While Smith might not be comfortable about the idea of Kuntz going down in game, he can at least rest knowing the team doesn't need to bring in someone new to snap in Week 11 with the Steelers making a playoff push. Montravius Adams admits Keanu Benton could have been a Day 1 starter. 2 rookies started on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this past Sunday. A pair of second-round picks, including CB Joey Porter Jr., who surpassed Levi Wallace on the depth chart a few weeks back. DL Keanu Benton, too, had the opportunity to start and play more, but that was due to an injury to starting NT Montravius Adams, who had high praise for his young linemate. "I have nothing bad to say. I mean, we all have bad plays, but he could have been a Day 1 starter," he told reporters about Benton yesterday, according to Joe Rutter of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, who quotes the veteran in an article published Thursday evening. "Fundamentally, he's one of our better players just coming straight from college to the team," Adams added. "I've seen him grow every game. Pass rush, he's been great, honestly. Overall, I would say he's been doing good. Indeed he has, and he has impressed his teammates and coaches with his improvement. It's only a credit to Adams that he has been able to maintain a grip on his starting job over the rookie, himself stepping up and playing some of the best football of his career." Adams was injured just 2 plays into the game against the Tennessee Titans 2 weeks back. He missed this past Sunday's game against the Green Bay Packers and doesn't appear likely to play the Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. He has yet to practice thus far this week. Taken with the 49th overall pick out of Wisconsin, Benton doesn't seem to have had to deal with much of a learning curve. He has played pretty consistently well throughout his 282 defensive snaps through 9 weeks. While he only has 1 sack, he is winning pass rush reps, getting into the backfield, and influencing plays. He is not yet a finished product, but that only means he will continue to get better. In the early stages, he has the look of a player who could be an effective long-term starter in the trenches, something the Steelers very much need. Although they have largely been using him as a nose tackle, in addition to sub-package rushing work, Benton is also athletic enough to play end in a 3-4 front. They had already begun to experiment with playing him as a rotational end with Adams still in the game at nose tackle. That is something they can continue to explore once the front returns to health. Will he be the Steelers' next Javon Hargrave? Given what he went on to become after he priced his way out of Pittsburgh, that's hard to say. But let's face it, it's been too long since the last time they found a keeper in the trenches, the last time being Hargrave, in the 3rd round in 2016. Dallas Cowboys re-signing Kelvin Joseph? Understand the circumstances here. As the Dallas Cowboys prepare to travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers, a former Cowboy suddenly became available. A former second-round pick that was recently traded away is now a free agent after being released by the Miami Dolphins. Kelvin Joseph didn't work out in Miami, but could a reunion with the Cowboys be in the cards? Before that, there's a reason he was traded. Crowd shows up to my front door with torches and pitchforks. Circumstances have changed. Joseph was traded straight up for Noah Igbinoghene, another cornerback who couldn't get over the threshold with the Dolphins. With Dallas, Igbinoghene has been on the game day roster bubble throughout the season, appearing in only 4 games. Injuries to All-Pro cornerback Trayvon Diggs and special teams standout C.J. Goodwin have created an opportunity to bring back a familiar face. Based on social media, I can tell I'm pretty much on an island with this take, but please give me the opportunity to convince you why bringing Joseph back is good for the Cowboys. Like I mentioned above, special teams ace C.J. Goodwin suffered an injury that now has him ruled out for the entire season. Goodwin was yet another casualty of the beating that Dallas took at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers. The Cowboys didn't only lose on the scoreboard. They also lost both Goodwin and Leighton Vander Esch for the season. Joseph, who was drafted to be a shutdown cornerback out of the University of Kentucky, never developed into the player the Cowboys hoped he'd be. After 2 years of not cracking into the regular coverage rotation, Joseph seemed to have found a niche in special teams with John Bones Fassel. The duo of Goodwin and Joseph as gunners on the punt and kickoff teams gave Fassel a dynamic duo in kick coverage. At the time it could have been considered a luxury, but now that Goodwin is out for the season, that unit is without both of them. I wouldn't necessarily call it a desperation move, but Fassel has resorted to inserting Sam Williams as a gunner on his coverage teams. It's a little out of the norm for that position, as it is usually reserved for speedy defensive backs or wide receivers. Joseph played 70% of the special teams snaps in Dallas last season, and had already logged 87% of those snaps with the Dolphins before his release. If nothing else, Joseph can be a boon on special teams for the Cowboys. While the Goodwin injury opened up the opportunity for special teams snaps, another injury created some space in the cornerback room. Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL in practice prior to the Week 3 matchup at the Arizona Cardinals. Please don't misconstrue my logic. I am not saying Joseph can come in and replace the production that Diggs left behind. I'm saying that his injury created a domino effect that has put the Cowboys in circumstances they didn't have to worry about before. After the Cowboys acquired former NFL Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore from the Indianapolis Colts, I wrote about how Dallas could have the best cornerback trio in the NFL. The defense's performance in the first 2 weeks prior to Diggs' injury reinforced that take, but post-injury has weakened it. Second-year player Darren Bland, who was originally supposed to see the field primarily as the slot cornerback, was forced to start on the boundary opposite of Gilmore. Bland has been so productive in that role, recording a team-high 5 interceptions, of which he has returned 3 of them for touchdowns. Gilmore has also been solid on the other side, notching 2 interceptions so far this season. After Bland and Gilmore, the depth chart starts to get sketchy. Jordan Lewis, who returned this season from a Lisfranc injury suffered in 2022, has not returned to his usual level of play in the slot. Lewis has been the focus of opposing offenses, who have attacked him to avoid throwing at the stalwarts lined up on the boundary. He has allowed completions on 54% of the throws in coverage while giving up 3 touchdowns, a 111.1 passer rating, 70 yards after catch, and just 1 pass defensed in 8 games. During training camp, the coaches experimented with Joseph in the slot, a position they had never put him in before. By all accounts, he was playing well, but a logjam at the position, and the need for more depth at outside cornerback is what triggered the trade with Miami. Would adding Joseph back to the team make the Cowboys world beaters? No, but for the reasons mentioned above, plus his familiarity with the defense make it a situation worth kicking the tires on. And you fan, what do you think of the Kelvin Joseph situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.